I want to take Astro photos.
Pooh, do watch a tutorial.
Magical photo man! I thought I'd never get to see you. Oh my gosh!
Sorry, sir, we still don't have an intro.
So I have to show my exit? Great. Can't you do anything stupid?
So first we're going to talk about light pollution, which is just artificial light from cities. Pretty simple. Now to get away from light pollution, that's where it gets tricky. In order to find a place with little to no light pollution, you have to use a light pollution map. I suggest using Darksitefinder. By the way, Darksitefinder is more than just a light map. I got a lot of information and tools from them. Which leads us to two very useful tools, which I got from DSF. Stellarium and the photographer's
Ephemeris.
So TPE just tells you what time the sun sets and rises. And the same with the moon. For a perfect night, you don't want the moon at all. So you'll want to go roughly at the end of the month. Looking at TPE, yesterday, April 26th, would have been a good day to go out, since the moon sets 20 minutes after the sun sets, which is great. And the moon is also on its waxing crescent, which TPE says is like 0.5 visibility. But common sense says no, because that was yesterday. And looking at today, the 27th, is going to take one more hour before the moon sets, so it'd be setting at 10 p.m., which would be okay, but here's where you have to consider the weather. So this is something you have to check about a week away from your planned date, looking at the weather. It's going to be cloudy for the next couple of days now, so that means the prime time for stargazing and pictures are gone. The more you wait for the clouds to leave, the longer it takes for the moon to set. Each day takes about another hour for the moon to set. So looking at a 7-day cloud cover forecast, which DSF has a page for that, it looks good on May 2nd. But also on May 2nd, the moon sets at 2 a.m. So no, since I'm not really all that committed. And if you were going out anyways, the moon's illumination is 43%. When out on a dark night, the moonlight can be very bright, which would affect how many stars you see. And now there's Stellarium, and I'm just going to quickly go over what it is. Stellarium is basically a star simulator. You can set the time to see what the stars would look like at that time. You can also see information about the stars and planets, how bright they'd be, and more cool stuff like that. One of the reasons I like it is because you can look at when the Milky Way rises and sets, and what months are good for looking at the Milky Way as well. So with all this in mind, it's time to find a location on the map. You want to look for a gray or black zone. For me, the closest gray zone is about an hour and 30 minutes away. The closest black zone is 5 to 6 hours away. I'm really lucky living where I am, Kansas, because there's not really any big cities here. Now, if you live anywhere on the east side of America, you're pretty screwed. You'll have to look at the map yourself and plan stuff depending on where you live, because I'm pretty sure you don't live down the street from me. Now, since I wasn't able to go in April, I'm going to try for May 25th, since the moon sets 2 minutes before the sun, and at around midnight we'll barely be able to see the Milky Way in the horizon. And at around 1 a.m. we'll be able to get a good look at the Milky Way. That is, if the weather's permitting. So, if you haven't noticed, pretty much all of this information was on Darksitefinder.com. So I'm basically taking the website info and putting it in a video form. I don't want to take the work he put in his website and just steal it or anything. I would just like to put this information out there for people, because it seems like most of the 3 to 4 night picture videos I've watched didn't talk about light pollution, moon phases, time of year, and location. They just talked about camera settings, composition, camera equipment, and lenses. So yeah, subscribe if you liked the video, and stay tuned for part 2 where I go out and take pictures with my new lens.